Wanted geese.
It's almost ready. This is our caravan, so you won't have seen inside here before. This is where, when we have volunteers, they live. They have their own kitchen area, a log burning stove, place to relax. You know what, the view used to be really good from here, but then we put up a polytunnel and a massive shed. You can still see the tap up there. Place to eat. I've just put some willow over here.
That's nice.
Thank you. And there's actually 2 bedrooms here, so there's a single bedroom and a double bedroom. So we've got a couple coming at the moment, so I think I'll probably make up the bed for them in here.
What about the toilet?
This is like cribs. This is the toilet. This is actually a compost loo, just a bucket system, and that literally means it's a bucket with a toilet. And that's the bucket there. Okay, I think we've got a visitor, so we're going to go.
So we'll be in touch about the geese, I guess.
Because I'm going to keep them in.
Great.
Because otherwise, chasing them is not fun.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, well, we'll be in touch about it.
Cool.
Great.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Cheers.
See ya. Bye. Alright, that was some friends of ours just came around for a cup of coffee, but we're going to be buying some geese off of them quite soon. That's the news, folks, is that we're going to be getting geese here at Tapanoth. First time keeping geese. They live on a small holding about 20 minutes drive from here. 4 females and 3 males from them, probably this week.
Good grass eaters.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is the main point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that while the goats are great at taking down the thistles and the docks and the willow herb and the longer, harder stuff, we need something else just to come in behind them and finish off the grazing. So we're hoping that geese are going to be great for that. So I've got to get my skates on and start trying to build a movable house for the geese. We're going to be keeping them behind electric poultry netting, and I want to rotate the geese around as many geese or goose suitable places that we have here on the farm. So the poultry netting should work great for that. But I want to give them a house as well, just in case they need some shade or to evade predators, so that we can potentially lock them in, although we've been learning all about geese just now with Kelly over coffee, and sounds like they might not choose to go in at night time, and hopefully the poultry netting should be enough just to keep them safe from the foxes and the badgers. But we'll build something anyway. We've got a shelter that I'd actually started making for the goats, but we think actually we could convert it into a goose house instead. So be getting on with that later on.
Just taking off all of the lower leaves and things and just pruning these back. A, to get them to stop kind of taking over the tomatoes, but also because some of the well, I have a feeling that kind of adding to the airflow might help a little bit with some of the end rot as well. I'm not sure, but it's a good thing to do anyway, sporadically. Very spiky though. It will also be that you get these kind of moulds developing when there's less airflow.
Oh,
so.
for sure.
Plus it's just nicer to pick courgettes if there's not a jungle of leaves. Quite a big, long job.
So as Rosa was saying, we've got a couple of volunteers arriving this evening. We've got a couple from New Zealand who are travelling around Scotland, and they're coming via the Workaway volunteering programme. So they're going to be staying in the caravan, and they're with us for a week. We're going to get them helping us develop our chicken composting system, which needs a bit of a rejig and a revamp. With the imminent geese arrival, better get on with trying to bodge together this goose house. So my mum's got mad skills at making things from scrap around here, so it's time for some mother-son time and see if we can get this goose house made. Here we are. Doesn't look like much. You'll probably, if you look back over our vlogs, you'll have seen this lying around in the background quite a bit. It's a bit of a sorry sight. It's because it got hit by a storm. But we made this, didn't we, Mum? The end of last year, I think. For the goats. We'll try and get it upright. You'll probably have a better idea of how it looks. But what do you think we should do?
Yeah, let's see if we can get it up the grass first.
Right. We're just going to go and get the tools we need, and we probably need quite a few more pieces of scrap wood to strengthen the existing structure that we've made.
Right. Dear me.
We're going to need chicken wire, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're going to put chicken wire all over the structure so that it's predator proof. We're going to be covering it with a tarpaulin, so the chicken wire is going to help kind of keep that as a framework for the tarpaulin to sit on. So I don't actually know how much chicken wire we've got at the moment. We've got all that roll of it where you were weeding the other day up in the middle garden. Got plenty then.
Got a few stakes in it.
How are we going to
Measuring
attach? I've got measuring tape. How are we going to attach the chicken wire to this frame?
We'll probably have to use
Tree ties. We inherited lots of tree ties from the previous owners, because the previous owners were the people who planted all of these trees. So all of those trees had tree guards, and they're tied on with basically like reusable zip ties.
Oh, no, baby. No.
Or I guess we can wire it on with a thin wire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll need to think of how we're going to make the doorway.
Alright. Take this box of tools. Got a potential door that we can use here in the goat byre. Got this sort of screen. I think that was an old chicken run door that my mum made years ago. So, and we've just had it up blocking the wind coming into the goat byre, but considering it's summer, we can nick this and use it. It's screwed on, so we'll just take this down. That'll do it. So I think we're going to have to stop there. We're kind of running out of time before our volunteers arrive. We're going to charge a few batteries and things, but we've had a good look at it. Got a few pieces of wood in place to re-strengthen the goose shelter. I think we're going to call it the goose wagon. So I think we'll carry on with that tomorrow. Have a fresh day and a new job. How you doing, folks? So it's the second day and Rosa and I are back out in the goat paddock working on the goose wagon that we're going to be making for the arrival of our geese, our 7 geese, which should be coming this week sometime. So we're just fixing on some chicken wire so that we can make this as predator proof as possible, and then we'll be putting a tarpaulin over half of it as a sort of shade and waterproof area if they need that. And yeah, it's going not too bad as always with things that we make here. We're not that proficient. We're not exactly joiners, but the main thing is that we're having to do this from as many recycled materials as possible, just what we find around the farm, bodging it together in our usual way, and trying to make do and mend, make do with what we have. But we're getting there. Rosa's just putting on the chicken wire. I'm just working on the door at the moment. I think my mum is inside cutting us a piece of wood with the jigsaw so that we can add a few more strengthening parts to this design. And we have our volunteers here as well. We've got 2 great volunteers from New Zealand who are helping us for the next week. They arrived last night, so they're doing a bit of raking up some grass for us that we'd cut in some of the silver pasture system, and clearing weeds around some of our new hedging and things so that we don't lose the trees to the grasses. Time for the midgie hoods, because we have got a lot of midgies out here today. What a look. So I am just finishing off a little bit of this goose house. We're hoping to get the geese tomorrow actually, if our friend that's selling them to us can organise that. So just trying to get this finished, and it pretty much... Alright goats, alright, they want their supper. It's pretty much done, and got a door on here now with a nice latch, and I've just got a few gaps to fill up and get a tarp on it, and then we're done. Yeah, these midgies are a killer. Really, there's clouds of them out here tonight. No wind, so perfect for midgies to come out and suck your blood. So meanwhile, Rosa is in the kitchen. I think she's making hard cheese and using something for the first time.
So I've got it on this one because I think I'm going to be waiting about 10 minutes, and then I'll be opening it up again, flipping the teeny tiny half-size small cheddar. Miniature cheddar. Mini cheddar! It'll be better than a mini cheddar, although they are good. I'm going to be flipping that over just to make sure it gets like an even shape to it. And once I've done that, it's then going to be flipped a few more times over the evening, and then I'm going to leave it overnight. And then apparently overnight I'm meant to flip it in the middle of the night, but I'm not doing that. So this is the last-ish part of quite a long process. I had quite a lot of milk, so I decided to do my first hard pressed cheese. I've made some hard cheeses, but they've all been ones that I've put in like a basket, and it's just drained away the whey, so it's not as hard basically, and doesn't last as long as one that you've pressed to get all of the whey out. This is a cheddar because I've cheddared it, or I've used the cheddaring process, and that's basically a process whereby you remove the whey in a certain way from the curds. So you chop them, stack them, restack them back and forth and over again, and then you rip it up and then you salt that, and that causes so much whey to be taken out of the curds that you get really hard, long-lasting cheese, which is why cheddar, I guess, was such a great thing. You could make milk last so long. Here I've got some cheesecloth inside. This is the last tiny bits of whey coming out of the cheese. They're really nice, white, creamy whey actually, so I guess it's not just whey. But this here is how much whey came off. When you make a cheese, a hard cheese, most of it becomes whey, which is why we always want to use the whey for something. That's a big waste product on industrial cheese making, and it's actually a great fertilizer, as we've mentioned.
So where do you get your cheese press from?
So I actually got this very cool cheese press from a really kind woman that we met when we went to go and speak to the WRI, the Women's Rural Institute, a group of women that meet in certain rural areas and they discuss rural affairs, and traditionally people think of baking and all these different skill shares. So we went to talk there about the CSA and veg box and things, and I, as usual, ended up talking about the goats, and a lot of those women, being slightly older, grew up in situations where everyone had a dairy cow or a dairy animal, and they made their own cheese, farmhouse cheeses. And she had all these cheese presses from when she'd made cheese when she was younger, and so she brought them over just for free. And so I just cleaned this up today. This is a bit rusty, but this is just the springy press bit. So in a moment I'll be taking this off. This spring pushes this shape here down. So yeah, so that's it. And I'll be able to report back on whether it's failure in just 6 months.